told y'all we was gonna do some truck stuff. Alright guys, this is Arnold. I call him my muscle truck. He's got that Cleveland Torino power in the man's transmission. He definitely sounds the part. Now let's make him look the part. Alright guys, back playing with Arnold. So, I got this truck a number of years ago, did some horse trading around. I actually traded an old Ford Explorer for it. 2000 model, semi four-wheel drive Ford Explorer that I never drove. It sat around. Guy came along with this truck. It didn't look quite this good. It was a little bit beat up, but I wasn't really looking for another truck. I'm building a 71 F150 that you guys will meet later on. I wasn't terribly looking for a truck, but man, it's such a cool truck. The more the kids start talking to me about this truck, I'm like, are you sure you want to get rid of this truck? Anyways, let's get into it. So, 86 F150, two-wheel drive, short bed. Originally, the truck had a 300 straight six with a manual transmission. Now, this truck only has 60 whatever thousand miles, 62 or 67,000 miles on it. I have to look at the odometer in a second to show you guys. But one thing makes this truck pretty neat, and why I call him my muscle truck and how he got the name Arnold after, obviously we all know Arnold. So let's talk about what's in this truck. 351 Cleveland from 70 something Torino. Let's go. I was like, all right. When he first said Cleveland, I was like, okay, pretty cool. Then I see the truck and I hear it, and it's got some mystery cam, and it's got long tubes on it, and it's still got a freaking manual transmission in it. This thing is too cool to drive. Being a super low mileage truck, as you can imagine, it drives like, it literally drives like it's brand new in 80 something, and your grandpa bought it and you're borrowing it, running it to the freaking store. It's a dream. So, always called it my muscle truck. I always thought it was cool. I always loved these trucks. I feel like they got forgotten they call these trucks bull noses. They kind of have a slanted forward nose, kind of like a bull, kind of self-explanatory. It's just a super cool truck, and I have totally fallen in love with it. We'll walk around and talk about a couple of things I've already done. So this truck came with just the factory steel silver wheels. I found these wheels off of a 90s truck. I stripped all the anodizing off of them, put these wheels on it. It looks a little better. The interior was super clean in this truck. I just put one of those, I think it's cover lay dash covers on it, hard dash cover. Looks amazing, looks like $1 million. It had a regular style step bumper on it when I first got it. It was kind of folded up. So I like the smooth bumpers, and I've seen some old hot rod guys with the F100s taking these van front bumpers and cutting them out, notching them out to fit the back of your truck. So we got the smooth bumper look going on it. So now you guys have met this thing. I've been dying to lower this truck since I have had it. I love lowered trucks. It's just something about a lowered truck sitting down. It just looks so cool. And there's a couple of them running around here by the house, and every time I'm out of my truck and I see one, I'm like, dude, you gotta lower your truck. So I run across a set of wheels that prompted me to lower the truck. And in my just junking around fashion, I wound up throwing together a set of mismatched staggered bullet wheels. Now don't judge me, because they're not the prettiest things in the world, but we're gonna polish them up, make them look pretty. Lower this truck a little bit, see how these wheels and tires look on it. Now let's get into what we're gonna do about lowering this thing. All right, so there's several ways to lower these older Ford trucks. This twin I-beam suspension, if you're not super familiar with that, do yourself a little Googling. I'm not gonna go crazy and explain it, but it's two beams, they pivot kind of like this. It's not the absolute best design. They have camber issues when you get in lower them. They make lowered I-beams that are, the spindles are raised higher. They're crazy expensive. I've had a twin I-beam Ranger back in the day that had beams, springs, and I actually wound up cutting coils out of the springs. The hack to getting your alignment right is putting some aggressive camber slugs in it. So they make an adjustable camber bushing that goes on your upper ball joint that will actually give you camber. We'll get into it in a minute when we get the suspension part. So anyways, we're using a set of 3-inch drop coil springs. I'm pretty sure I can get the camber back out of it and make it drive good. No, it's not the absolute, I'm not gonna say the best, worst way to lower it. It's just another way to lower it. If this was a regular traditional style front suspension, slam a set of coil springs in it just like every other car on the road. The only reason it's kind of like not ideal on these trucks is because, like I said, it's the twin I-beam, and you just have a lot of angle changes as the suspension moves. So as we move the beams up, it's going to give us some negative camber. Like I said, we'll get into it in a minute. For the rear, so that's a 3-inch front spring. I think this should sit the truck pretty good. For the rear, we just got a standard axle flip kit. So we're going to take the axle from under the leaf spring and put it on top of the leaf spring. They make a bunch of different kits. This is a 5-inch kit, so I really feel like 3-inch front spring, 5-inch drop rear is gonna sit it pretty good. My tires have about a 1-inch stagger. And I forgot to say, I put a 2-inch drop shackle on the back of this truck, and it's actually an adjustable that has 2 holes. So I'm hoping to raise the shackle up the 1 hole, and the difference in my tire stagger is gonna let us sit pretty even. Because the truck, even with the drop shackle in the back, I still feel like it sits higher. So I'm hoping this 3.5, maybe be 3.6 drop, whatever it winds up being. Hope the truck sits good. Let's see. Guys, let's get into ripping this old coil spring out, see what it takes to get the coil spring out. It seriously couldn't be easier. Let's get the wheel and tire off. Excuse my messy roll card also. And it's been one of them weeks. Shock bolt. Basically trying to get the knob to the backside for now. So when we support it, we can slide these bolts out. Next thing. We're gonna wrestle this lower bolt. It takes some wrenching to get it out. It's kind of in a bad freaking spot. You can fish your wrench up through here and get some good pulls on it. That's the way to go about it. Definitely freaking been in there since '86. If I could find my 1 1/8 deep well socket, life would be a lot easier right now, but I have no idea where it's at. All right, got everything taken loose. We're going to use handy dandy tool, step, whatever, support the suspension, get this spring out. In case anybody's wondering, I did have OSHA come by and approve this jack stand, and they actually approved it while I was using it as a step stool for the pull-up bar. So supported, lower shock bolts out. Now we can raise the truck up, and the spring should essentially just fall out. All right, out with our old spring. Let's grab a new one. Let's compare. Like I said, this is a 3-inch drop spring. It's just a generic spring. I'm not sure who makes it. Internet special. Oh yeah. That's gonna give us what we're looking for. Let's get this thing installed. We'll be right back. Rubber spring retainer, strap deal, whatever. Only certain years of these trucks got them. Maybe all F-Series got them. I feel like some Rangers have this little upper spring with the funky thing. Anyways, put the upper spring tab back on, drop it a couple of times, fiddle with it, you know the deal. It's supposed to fit in a little tab right there. Got it. All right, almost back together. A couple of turns of this. Snug the spring the rest of the way down. All right, guys, got our new spring in, got it all back together, wrestled that freaking lower nut back together. So I am running a billet adapter on this. Like I talked about the bullet wheels, I kind of acquired the wheels, kind of like we do a lot of crap around here. So got the billet adapters on there, got them on there. You had to trim the little bit, that little blank end of the factory wheel stud so it doesn't stick out too far. But 5 on 5.5 to 5 on 4.5 adapters. Got them bolted on, got a new spring. Gonna give her the rattle can reman. Be looking good. We'll bolt the wheel on in a second. Here we go. Black bullets on the bullnose. Alright guys, we got all the front stuff done. Pretty simple, no big deal. Same in the rear. It is fairly simple. This is really about the only way to get one of these trucks really low in the back. You can do the front spring hanger and the shackle. That'll get you about 4 inches, but this is really the quickest, easiest, gonna retain factory ride because all you're doing is moving the axle, don't mind the strobe light, moving the axle from the bottom spring pad, and then we're gonna take it loose, move it from under here to the top of the springs, and it's gonna sit like this so that our axle can sit right there. U-bolts will then go from the bottom. That gets our axle from under here to up here, gives us 5 inches of drop to go with our 3-inch front drop. Hopefully it's gonna give us a good stance. Take our front spring hanger point, bolt loose. We're gonna just take the nut off, get the bolt loose in the sleeve. Hopefully it's not seized. Front one loose, get the rear shackle taken loose, then we'll support the axle, get our U-bolts loose, and we can start actually, I'm gonna pull the entire leaf spring pack out and fish it under the axle. You can take the rear end, loosen both sides, fish it back on top. That's a wrestling match. I think it's easier to just do one side at a time, take the leaf spring out, fish it back underneath, cinch it back up. Let's get this first nut loose. Or not. Pause while we get more power. Had to step up to a little more power. Let's see if this will walk off there. All right, now let's get our rear shackle nut and bolt loose. So we're going to eventually take that bolt all the way out, but I'm going to loosen just the bottom shackle pivot point just to give me a little bit of leeway so I'm not wrestling with the entire thing. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, awesome guys. Remember that one. Now let's get the rear end supported. We'll zip the U-bolts off. Simple pole jack under the diff. Take some tension off the springs. Just like the front, also untouched from 86, clear. Time for the blue wrench.
2,000 years later.
All right, I got our leaf spring loose. We're going to see if we can get it out of the truck. Out of here. Set it on the roll floor for just a minute. Now we're going to have to raise our axle up a significant amount to now get this leaf spring to go under here. All right, guys, we got our axle raised way up. As you see, it's kind of crooked. DJM foot bracket in place. Just double check the instructions. The offset hole goes towards the front, so it relocates the spring. So we swing our spring back up into place, line it back up with our shackle. Start your back bolt. Might have to tap it in there. All right, now we're kind of ready to drop our axle down in place. We'll put the new U-bolts in. They flip in upside down. We'll cut to that in just a second. All right, guys, got the axle in place. The factory plate gets reused and U-bolts. They just go like this, and you can line them up on your deal. Start your U-bolts like that. Retains factory U-bolts. Clean the threads up on them just a little bit because you saw they were pretty crappy. So cinch the U-bolts up. We'll move on to the other side and wrap this thing up. PB blaster these bolts a little bit. Oh yeah, PB blaster, like this is the absolute best stuff in my opinion for rusty bolts, especially if you got a little bit of patience sitting on something. This is the best. I'm pretty sure even Santa Claus uses this on the sleigh and the reindeers and stuff after they sit around. So you can fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what Santa uses. All right, guys, got everything on. Got our lower spring plate done. You have to modify it a little bit. I didn't realize I had to go back and check the instructions. Again, yes, I did read the instructions. Like, it's okay to be a man and read instructions. So I drilled one hole. It's kind of an ugly drill bit hole, but guess what? Rattle can reman, you'll never see it. So we're gonna torque these on down, torque them on down, cinch it up, go to the other side, knock it out, show you what it looks like in just a minute. All right, guys, this side's done. Got our adapter on. You don't have to trim the lug studs. They're just under there. So it's a bolt-on, straight-on deal. And I know a lot of people hate bolt-on adapters. I don't love them, but they were 80 bucks shipped to my door with lug nuts. I'm basically got $80 in the set of wheels and tires plus my lowering kit, so don't hate me. So, rattle can reman for the rear. Moving on. All right, rear one's bolted on. I think we might have to get us some black closed in lug nuts for it, look nice for it. And I guess I'll probably go ahead and try to clean these lips up and make them look nice because I think it's gonna turn out pretty good. But that's what we're rocking for now. Just an old shop truck anyways. All right, guys, next thing we're gonna need to do this thing is something I've needed to do this truck since I've owned it. All all of the window channel runs, window channel runs, rubber, all of this kind of stuff is literally, let's see, I can probably get a piece to pop out right now. It's just hard as a rock. Yeah, see, and it's just all falling out. With the windows up, going down the road, it sounds like you don't even have a dang windshield in the truck. It's ridiculous. So I'm gonna get in, digging all this old crap out. I've done the same kind of deal in Fox bodies and Mustangs and other kind of vehicles. I've never done one of these trucks. But yeah, as you can see, we got problems here. Try not to make a horrendous mess, but I don't think that's going to be a thing. This stuff's in pretty bad shape. This, like I said before, this truck is a super low mileage truck, but that don't mean nothing when it's been however many years since 1986. Y'all do the math. I'll check back in when we start putting the new stuff in. All right, guys, here's our new window felt, new window run. It's just like OEM replacement window run. I think this actually came from Brothers Truck. I ordered it from some eBay company, but I think it actually ended up shipping. The box said Brothers Truck or whatever. It comes with both window channel runs for both sides, and it comes with these, which I thought was really cool, which looks like it's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to put on, but goes, let me see if I can find the two to go together, but window runs that go on the inside and outside of the doors. Walk over here a little. I think this is the actual other side, but yeah, makes it really nice. Fits there and there. Sandwich those two together. That's pretty sweet. I actually didn't even know that it came with these because they're broken on the truck side, and there's one that goes on the back of the door panel, and it's in obviously pretty bad shape. It looks like it staples on. We'll revisit that in a minute. I'm gonna start feeding this smooth weather stripping in here. We'll see how it goes. So it looks like it's pretty cut and dry. I'm just winging it right now. This got like a hard edged corner. I found this has a hard corner, so it looks like it fits right there pretty good. Get it started in there and just kind of push it in everywhere it goes. It's kind of just friction fit, if you will. Oh yeah, that's gonna fit super nice. Wow, big difference, big difference. I should have done this 2 days after I bought this stupid truck, or traded for it, acquired it. However, I got the stupid thing. Just taking this little plastic trim tool. You can get these anywhere, just generic little plastic trim tool, and just kind of make sure it's tucked all the way up in there. Yeah, there we go. And just kind of make sure. I know once you roll the window up and down, it's gonna kind of naturally mold in there, but I don't want any kinks up here. I want it to fit really tight inside there like it's supposed to go. And I think once we get down here inside the door, it might be a little more tricky to do. Maybe a little bit of WD-40 might be our friend. Got all of it pushed in around here. I got the window rolled up. It actually fits pretty good. I need to take a pick and kind of straighten out, or a flat blade screwdriver, and just straighten out all the little places like that and make sure it's just nice and tight. And I'm gonna put this window run in. I think I can slide it in, bolt it up, and then go back in and push the felt in there. So let's see how that works out. All right, finally got all of this fished in everywhere. Looks pretty good. Oh, we got a little spot there. But it's all fished down inside the door. It's not super hard, but it's just a little bit fidgety because it's hard. You need to roll the window up and down about 25 times. And when it's up, you need it down. When it's down, you need it up, all that kind of deal. But that is a big freaking deal. So I'm gonna move on to replacing these door panel felts and the outside door panel felt. It looks like the outlet just kind of pops off and new one pops in. I might have to staple that one on. We'll be right back. Yeah, this is the one from the outside, pops right in here. I didn't really know how it came off. It does have just these little clips and it just snaps down in there. So I'm gonna grab a new one, get it fidgeted in there, see how it fits. Oh yeah, we're looking good up there. Oh yeah, oh yeah. In there like swimwear. All right guys, what do y'all think about old Arnold? He is looking good to me. I think I'm pumped. I couldn't ask for it to turn out any better. It's a perfect drop, perfect stance for me. Works out good. I love the wheels. It really matches, gives me a whole vibe. He looks like a muscle truck now. I'm digging it. He finally earned his freaking name. Now, when I tell people his name Arnold, you'll already know the deal. I hope you guys really like meeting Arnold. Meeting a truck on the channel, part of our fleet. He's a pretty cool dude. Hope y'all like him. Hey, if you guys are digging this kind of stuff, I got more coming. About to do something on this cool T-Bird out here. please, just stick around. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Just tell us what you think. Appreciate you guys sticking around and watching it. See you next time. Y'all stay tuned for the next episode. We got my daughter / camera chick / editors, super rad Thunderbird here that we've been messing with. So stick around, come around for the next one, and we're going to talk about it.